Hello, welcome back to my channel, and I am back from holiday. If you don't follow me on Instagram, which you probably should, but anyway, I have been in Marbella for the last week. I got back the other day, and I'm super excited to be back filming again. So I thought I would film kind of like my go-to holiday glam look. This is kind of what I wore on most days when I was out there. I went away with Molly, of course, and we went for day events, we went for evening events, and we did some nice dinners, we did some chill days. But this was kind of like my kind of look that I typically did, that worked both in the day and in the evening, and it's kind of like my heat-proof look. I use a few new products that I haven't used before that really help my makeup last super long. So if you want to see how I created this look, then please do keep watching. Don't forget to subscribe down below and give the video a thumbs up. Anyway, let's get into it. So as normal, I'm gonna start with my eye makeup. So I'm literally going to first of all prime my eyelids with my Maybelline Age Rewind concealer, and this really does help your eye makeup last all day or night because you're basically priming your lids with concealer. It has something to almost like stick to, and it just means it's gonna like last longer. So I just apply this with like a flat concealer brush, and I just put it all over my eyelids. So I've just blended that concealer in with my beauty blender and brought it all the way up underneath my eyebrows. And now I'm going to start with my eyeshadow. I kind of went for the same eyeshadow look most days that I was out there because I just love like a bronzy kind of look, and it kind of goes with any sort of outfit you're wearing. So I tend to take my Tom Ford bronzer as kind of like the base of my eyeshadow look. So I just take some of this on my brush and really work it into the crease of my eyelids, and just take it in circular motions. Then going to take a little bit of the shade Basic from my Friendcation palette, the Dose of Colours Desi x Katy palette, and I'm just going to pack this into the centre of my eyelids almost as a base before I put the glitter shade on. And this is another kind of, besides from the concealer, really helps it last longer because it's got another kind of layer to hold on to, if that makes sense, rather than just putting it directly onto the eyelid. So I find that this really helps if you're wanting your eyeshadow to not only like pop but also last the whole day or night depending on what you're doing, where you're going. So we did like a combination of things. We went to a few day events, we went obviously out in the evening, I did really kind of like test how long my makeup could last, and it would last like right in like the hottest heat of the day and also like all night when I was out. So yeah, these are kind of just little things I do to help my makeup kind of stay in place. And also in the heat as well, like the heat is just ridiculous, but you can do kind of like a few extra steps to help your makeup like last a bit longer than it typically would if you didn't do that, if that makes sense. For the main colour of my eyelid, I'm going to take the shade Just a Kiss from this same palette, and I just kind of love putting this all over because it just gives this really lovely shimmer shade, and it's like the perfect nudie shimmer, and I kind of would just wear that most days because it just goes with everything. So I've just spritzed a little bit of MAC Prep and Prime onto my eyeshadow brush, and this really helps it stick onto the brush and then also transfer really nicely onto the lid without it falling out too much. I'm just going to pack this onto the centre of my lid, and it does just give this really gorgeous shimmer, which I think is perfect for summer. And I love being like super glowy, especially in the sun. Like you do want to kind of look really glazed, and this is just perfect for the eyes. And it's a really nice shade because you can just kind of do like one really subtle layer, or you can build it up to be super shimmery. It's kind of like personal preference, I guess, and it depends what kind of outfit you're going for or like what you're wearing that day. Yeah, it's buildable as well as just having this really soft sheen. It's kind of up to you how you want to wear it, but I just love it so much. And then for an extra bit of intensity, I like to take my Dose of Colours X iluvsarahii highlight in the shade Soulmate, which I will be using on my face. But I also like to pop it in the inner corner of my eye just to give it that extra pop. And I do this with most of my makeup looks because I personally like that look. I know it's not for everyone, but it's something that I like to do. And I just take this really small detail brush from Iconic London, and I use it to pack the highlight into my inner corner. It depends obviously what highlight I'm wearing, but I'll always use the same highlighter that I'm going to use on my face in my inner corner so that it's like consistent and it all kind of ties in. So that's another like little trick for kind of bringing everything together and making it look more seamless. You see instantly that it's given like an extra dimension to the eyes. Next step is eyelashes. So what I've done is I've just like literally taken a makeup wipe and tidied up underneath my eyes. Unfortunately, makeup wipes don't remove the bags under your eyes, but I've just tidied up any fallout of eyeshadow, and I've also just popped on one really small coat of mascara. Now I'm going to put on my lashes, which are really key to like the super glam holiday look. I personally love like really big eyelashes, and I think it just adds so much more dimension to the look. My personal favourite ones are the HNB Cosmetics lashes in the style Extra, and I wore these with nearly every look on holiday, and they're so reasonable and reusable. Like, it's just amazing. So I'm going to pop these on. I'm going to do it off camera because I find it really stressful putting them on. So I have now got my eyelashes on, and as you can see, they make such a big difference. They kind of are just so extra and glam. Like, I personally love them. Okay, they're not super easy to put on, I can't lie, because I'm not really that great at putting lashes on. But once you do it a few times, it is fine. They are fine to put on, but I just find it easier to do it off camera. Next up, I am going to prep my skin with my MAC strobe cream. Again, this is a step I always do, and it really does help kind of help your makeup last and also give you that kind of really glowy skin finish, which is what I like to go for, especially on holiday. Like, you do want your skin to be super glowy, and I find that there's just something about like more warmer countries, when I go to them, my skin just becomes like so like luminous, and like everything just takes to it better. It's not dry at all. Like, it just feels so much more like luminous. So the foundation I was using out there was my Tom Ford stick foundation, and it just took to the skin so well, and I think it was where my skin was a lot more dewy, and this seemed to like be the perfect combination for that. So this is the foundation I'm going to use. It's in the shade 8.2 Warm Honey, which is really dark, and I have exfoliated, so I'm not that tanned at the moment, but I'm just going to have to kind of roll with it at this point, and I'll blend it into my neck. Yeah, this was the foundation I used, so I kind of just apply it directly to my skin, and then I use my kabuki brush to blend it in, and also my beauty blender. So it does look super dark, but once you blend it and work it into the skin, the colour kind of does like blend out. I'm doing this, I may as well talk about some of my favourite like places in Marbella that me and Molly like went to. We went for a few like nice dinners as well as going out. But one of my like personal favourite places was Nobu, and if you get the chance to go there, I would so recommend it. The setting was just so lovely, and the whole vibe was just like so chill and like a really nice atmosphere, and obviously the food was amazing. So yeah, I'd highly recommend that. And also we went to Olivia's, which is Elliot Wright's restaurant. It is slightly outside of Marbella, so it's about a half an hour taxi ride from where we were staying, we were staying in like Portobello. But it was so worth it. Like, again, the atmosphere is just so lovely, and obviously the food is nice, the service is amazing, so yeah, if you also get the chance to go there, I would so recommend it for like a nice dinner, because we did go out nearly every night, but sometimes it is nice just to like go for a nice dinner, have a few drinks and then like chill. But obviously me and Molly aren't capable of doing that anyway. But yeah, they were, I'd say I personally loved Nobu. Like I would say that was my favourite. That was one of my like favourite places that we went for sure. So if you do get the chance, then definitely go if you can. Now I have worked the foundation into my face. The next step is concealer, and again this is super important for helping your makeup last, because concealer almost helps to set the foundation and then your setting powder helps set everything together. The concealer that is the kind of like the perfect combination with this specific foundation is my Chanel concealer, and I use the shade 20 beige. I just put this on all kind of like the high points of my face, and not only does it help like highlight my face, it just does really help with that full kind of coverage. And this concealer does not like slide around the face. Like once it's set, it is like set. Like I literally love this concealer so much, and it is so worth it. Like such a good concealer. I can't even tell you like how much I love it. And I'm gonna blend that in with my beauty blender. Before we go ahead and set everything in place, it's important that you use all your cream products before you use your powders. So the last kind of cream product I have to use is my Bobbi Brown foundation stick in the shade Espresso, and I just use this to do like a light contour before I will then go ahead and use powder products to contour, but I do like to use this first. So I kind of just take this along the jawline, under the nose, and then a tiny bit the cheekbone, and then across my forehead as well. Blend that in with the Bobbi Brown kind of blending brush. Now an extra step I did while I was away, kind of to help your makeup really last, is to take this is before I bake, to take a really light layer of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder, and this is in the shade Fair. And what I do is just lightly kind of dust this all over the high points of my face, so basically anywhere that I put concealer. And this would not only kind of help brighten but also help lock it in place before I then went over everything with my translucent setting powder. And I just found this did really help, especially for like daytime events, because we did a few events where we were outside all day and obviously did have a full face of makeup on, and this just did really help it kind of last that extra bit longer, especially in like the heat, because obviously your face just feels like it's melting off a little bit. So yeah, this kind of did really help. Now I'm going to take my trusted Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, and honestly this is literally so fundamental to helping your makeup last. Like I cannot like express it enough. Like this is one of the key things that will help your makeup last and kind of help it survive the heat. So I just take a smaller beauty blender and I use it to pack on the powder to everywhere that I have concealed. And yeah, I let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes and really do let it bake. I feel like this is one of the key products to kind of helping your makeup last that extra bit longer. Right, so I'm just going to let that bake for about 10 minutes. While I do that, I'm just going to fill in my eyebrows slightly. Obviously, my eyebrows are pretty much filled in where I have had them microbladed, but I do like to just kind of go over the corners just to fill them in. Just go over them with my Anastasia Beverley Hills Dip Brow in the shade Medium Brown. While my face is still baking, I'm gonna start to bronze up my cheeks. I've still been loving my two like ride or die bronzers, to be honest, so I still use my Tom Ford Ultimate and I mix it in also with my Chanel bronzer. I just take like a fluffy brush and I kind of swirl around in both of them and use that to kind of deepen and bronze my face. I kind of just pack it into my cheekbones and just kind of, yeah, like swirl it around. I'm now just going to dust off my baking powder really lightly with this Real Technique brush. I believe it's their contour brush, and I just like to kind of pack the powder in to where it's been setting, but also kind of like lightly dust it off at the same time. This gives that really like flawless airbrush finish, and in combination with that Charlotte Tilbury powder, it's just like unbelievably flawless. And then I do like to take my beauty blender and just blend it all into the skin. Okay, next up is my personal favourite part, which is highlighter. For me, I think glam is all about being like super bronzed and glowy, and obviously highlight is a key part to that. So I find to get the kind of perfect glow, you always use my iconic London Liquid Illuminating drops in the shade Original in conjunction with my Dose of Colours iluvsarahii highlight in the shade Soulmate, and these two together are literally like the dream. Like that's how I always get my super glowy look. So I'm just going to pop my drops onto the high points of my face. So I always put a bit on the tip of my nose, my chin, Cupid's bow, and then of course on the cheekbones. I just blend it in with my finger and my beauty blender. I've now kind of blended in the drops, and then I'm next going to apply the powder highlight. And I find for the kind of like most intense result, I like to apply it firstly directly with my finger on over where I've put my drops, and then later on I'll go over and dust a second layer on, but with a fan brush. But I just find using my finger just gives it that extra intensity, because you're kind of really working it into those areas. And I live for an intense highlight, but I understand it's not for everyone, but it's my personal kind of, I love it. Like, I'm just obsessed with the glow, and especially on holiday you do want to be like extra glowy. And what I also like to do is take the detail brush from earlier, dip into the highlight again and go underneath my inner corner of my eye and just drag it out to my waterline as well. And I'll just take my fluffy brush from before and dip into my bronzer and just buff that out and blend it up to where I've put the highlighter, and that kind of just brings everything together and like removes any sort of like random like lines of highlight. It kind of just, yeah, makes it more of a complete look rather than looking like you've put like random splodges of highlight in the corner of your eye. I'm just also going to take a little bit of blusher. This is my L'Oreal Life's a Peach, which I am still loving. So I just take a light bit of this onto my cheeks and dust a little bit over my nose as well. Where I have got quite a lot of bronzer on, you don't need loads of blush, but I do like to put a little bit of blush on just to kind of really complete the look. I will go over my highlight for one more layer with my fan brush this time, and just kind of go over it just to make it even more extra because I love being extra. If you want to lock this all in place because you really want it to last all day, night, depending on what you're doing, my key ultimate product for this is my MAC Fix Plus spray, and I will just literally drench myself in this, and this really helps everything to lock and last. Like ultimate key. I can't reiterate enough, like, this step is so important to helping your makeup lock into place. And then the final part to the look is obviously lips. So my holiday combo this year was Barry M lip liner in the shade Toast and my HNB Cosmetics lip gloss in the shade OK Then. And this is my all-time favorite lip gloss, I think. Like, honestly, this is like my 6th bottle of this. I literally go through them like there's no tomorrow. But it is the perfect shade for me. Like, yeah, it is my perfect nude gloss. And I think on holiday as well, I love wearing a gloss because obviously it looks so nice in the sun and it just looks super glam, and that is what we're all about. So yeah, so this is the final look. This is kind of like my ultimate summer glam holiday look. Honestly, it will last all day, all night, I promise you. It got me through many a day and night. It's kind of like super glam, super extra glowy. That's what we like. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed kind of seeing how I put this look together, and yeah, I'm sure I will see you soon with another one. Thanks for watching. Bye.